Welcome to Mornings with Megs. I'm sorry I'm 4 minutes late this morning, but when I tell you I am like up against it. Welcome to my Sydney studio, aka my Sydney hotel room. I think I've done this show from like 5 different places in the last since it's existed. So if that doesn't give you like an insight into my travel schedule, yes. So 1,000 apologies. I have just been like ripping my suitcase apart trying to find my ring light so that I'm not utilizing like the harsh lighting of this room. So yeah, that's why I've tried to blur the background too, because when I tell you I literally ripped my suitcase apart, now there is just shit everywhere. So anyway, it's fine. It's my last day on the road tomorrow, and I'm so excited to go home. I'm so excited to see my cats, and I'm so excited to see my mum, and I'm so excited just to like lay in my bed and like do nothing. And you know, I'm excited. So it's a weird little race weekend this one because it's actually Friday and Saturday. So yeah, it's like night racing tonight, which is so fun. So I'm at Sydney Motorsport Park with TA2. So yeah, we're here. I'm so like my voice, like it's gone. Like I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm all of the things, but it's Friday. So I'll be back in my usual studio on Monday for a couple of weeks anyway, because I will then be traveling to Perth again. So look, we're just gonna make this work. If I didn't get the feedback I got from this show, I would just give it up. I would be like, it's too freaking hard. I just can't do it. But even yesterday at the racetrack, just people I just don't know, people that are part of teams that I'm part of, just random people I've literally seen once, like, oh my God, we love your show. So, like, how can I stop? So I have to keep going. So here we are. Now, I have a special guest for you this morning, Rhiannon. Now, when I tell you this woman and I are going to be able to talk for like 7 years, that is without a doubt not even an over exaggeration. Okay. So, yeah, she's going to be coming on in like 10 minutes' time. And her mum's coming on after as well, because we're going to be doing Follow Through Friday, which I'm excited about because I have news, I have updates. If you, I just realized I have 2 types of like body spray, and I realized I've just sprayed the one that has glitter in it all over me. Awesome. So I'm gonna go be glittering myself around a racetrack. So that reminds me actually as well. So I was thinking about this yesterday, and I think like because I've been so unwell, I've had a lot of downtime to think. So usually is like a dangerous thing with my brain, but this has actually been relatively like helpful. I'm like, okay, cool. So I've seen everywhere about the pink tax and all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, I need to just like use this to my advantage. And obviously I manage race car drivers, which is obviously a relatively male dominated sport, but like even yesterday when we had a test day, there are so many girls here, and I'm like, I need to like do something about this. I need to capture something. I need to do something. Okay, so I worked out what that something is. And also this is kind of like the other way I sort of feel like I could actually bring different brands into the racetrack, because I feel like previously when we've talked about getting partners on board at racetracks, it's like, really like it's really about the boys. And obviously I manage all boys, so that's whatever. But I want to kind of create a race team where it's like it's all girls. And like I've got media girls, not necessarily girl race car drivers, which I mean that would be amazing. But I feel like everyone's kind of doing that. If you are a female race car driver, like you're creating these kind of women-led teams, which is amazing. I know Imogen Radburn is doing it, and she's doing an amazing job. And yeah, so I was just thinking like, how can I bring lifestyle brands into motorsport? Because there is a huge audience here for them. They are missing out on eyeballs that their competitors aren't traditionally doing. Like it's people are actually creating the gap in demand. So there's race car. Let me try that again. There's active wear. brands that are literally just for race car drivers as well. Like, I mean, obviously everyone can wear their activewear, but there are already 7 gajillion friggin' activewear brands around the place that just haven't tapped into this market. So I'm doing a thing and I'm really excited about it. I just because of how I feel right now, because I'm sick and I'm tired and I'm absolutely burnt out from 3 weeks on the road. I can't get as excited about it as I want to. So yes, but I'm telling you, this is just, it's going to be awesome. And I see so many mums at racetracks too. I met I bought my mum the racetrack, and I met another team owner's mum. She does basically what my mum does for the team as well. She calls herself their sustenance whatever. So she cooks all their meals for them. And yeah, so just talking about the old days of being at a racetrack and things like that. I just there is a whole thing here that I think we're really missing, and I think businesses that get on the forefront of this are actually going to take off. So watch this space. Trust me to launch something new off the back of something already new, but yeah, this has to happen. So I'm really excited about that. And also going to talk to you about my singing lesson as well. Literally the song that I chose, well, I didn't choose to sing. She asked me to put a playlist together. So I was I think I was being a little bit optimistic with some of the songs that I put in there, because I was with Lizzo, right? Because I love her, 2 of her songs, To Be Loved and Am I Ready? Oh wait, no, that's the same song. I can't remember what the other song is. Yeah, I was oh, she's got a low voice, but I can't hit those low notes. My voice, I have all of a sudden a really high pitched voice that I didn't know about. So, yeah, so she chose for me Olivia Dean, Man I Need, which I love the song anyway. But it was actually so interesting just to hear the way she explains how you can hit notes and things like that, and bringing emotion and storytelling into songs to make you actually sing better. So, oh my God, it was so much fun. It was the quickest 45 minutes of my life. She was oh, you had your first singing lesson. I was okay. So it was really, 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 really fun. Anyway, Rhiannon will be on in a minute. So she's a naturopath, and we're going to be talking all things women health. Of course we are. So we're going to be talking about some things in particular. Now, let me grab my agenda maker, aka my phone, and just make sure that she is all good this morning to come on. And do you know how nice it is not to have to be uber polished in this? This is just the best thing in the world. I'm love. Okay, so we're going to start, I think we're going to have her on a million times. So we're going to be talking about the phases of the menstrual cycles. So obviously, yeah, women and men don't know about this, and it is so beneficial to know. So whether you're listening to this with your partner, whether you are a female wanting to know a bit more information, that's where we're going to start, because I feel I kind of had this knowledge later in life, and it just pissed me off a bit that when I learned about it, I was why are they teaching this shit in school? And I get that we've come a massive, massive way in kind of women's health and all of that sort of stuff. I had an argument with a dude in the chemist the other day because he was telling his daughter to suck it up because she had period pain. I nearly punched that motherfucker in the face, because I was just oh my God, do not gaslight her into being just suck it up, you'll be fine. And you know what? It was not my business to get involved in, and whatever. But I just was so frustrated, because as somebody who has been told that it's in your head and there's nothing wrong with you and the scans didn't show anything, and somebody who's gone through that for 10 years, 50, probably more. Now, I also had, interestingly enough, I also had a bowel resection 11 years ago. 11 years ago? Yeah, 11 years ago. 2015, yes, 11 years ago. In that, okay, so I've suffered like this my whole life. In that, I'm did you not find any endo in there? Because when they did my hysterectomy, they ripped a bunch of shit out. Everything was attached to everything. So I find it really unlikely that when between having my bowel resection in 2016 and my first endo excision surgery in 2020, that in that 4 years, all of that shit grew, because that was a hectic surgery too. That almost couldn't be freaking keyhole. It was that bad. So yeah, I just feel this isn't spoken about enough, and I want to bring, and I'm pushing my own agenda here, and purely because I can now. I can talk about whatever the hell I want. It's so exciting. Yeah. So I just think it's important that if you are a female and you're battling these issues, that we're bringing awareness to. I have referred so much business to my gyno because she's just the best thing in the whole world. My gynecology team are dead ass the best people in this whole world. They are so reassuring. Like Dr. Bagarachi, he's obviously in South Australia. He said to me the other day, whenever I spoke to him last, he said to me that like 80% of his hysterectomies are relatively routine, right? Obviously, he sees women with quite a lot of endo issues, whatever, but they are relatively routine otherwise. So he said to me that he was exhausted after my endo surgery, and it was one of the longest ones that he's done. And for none of that scar tissue to show up on scans, right? Even given like everything was fused to everything, like it was a bloody mess in there, and still nothing showed up, like on any kind of scan, any kind of anything. Like it is just wild to me how that can happen. So look, I know that there's like fun scans. No internal scan is fun. There are more advanced scans that we can tap into now, obviously. But yeah, I want to kind of let's get back to basics, because I feel like if we're armed with this knowledge at least, and the least that way, then we kind of have a base level understanding of what we're working with in our bodies, because the shit they teach you in school is like shit. Like, it's absolute crap. So Rhiannon, welcome to the show. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. I only got the end of what you're talking about there, but could not agree more.
Okay. Well, this is the thing, because I was like having you on board. I'm like, as women, do you know what, as girls in school, like we were super like, it was a really embarrassing topic, like to the point where you wouldn't even ask for like a pad or a tampon from another female, because you was like, and I remember being in the bathroom and trying to make as much noise as possible so that, when you hear the ripping of the thing off the back and shit. And I'm like, what the hell, man? That thing should have a megaphone, because I'm dealing with right now sure has a megaphone to my body. Not feeling great.
100%.
So I'm like beyond excited. And I think like I'm so excited we picked today to chat, because like if I was in the state I was in on Wednesday, I would not do this episode justice, but I'm feeling it today. So
Amazing.
We're meant to do this. So before we get into this, because I've already like probably ruined half the stuff we're talking about because I was too excited. Please introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and then let's get into this.
Beautiful. So I am Rhiannon. I am a teacher, but also a naturopath. So what you were just saying there about we just don't get taught it at school, and it's still not happening well. Like I'm the person that goes in and sort of covers classes and stuff. So I often get the health classes, and like I just have to recreate the entire lesson, because what they have and what they're already teaching is just not quite it. It's better, but it's still not there, which is really frustrating. But I'm also really grateful that I get to go in and teach them, so I'm also a naturopath, and I became a naturopath through my own journey of not getting answers. So I have a history of PCOS, now called PMOS, and I just was not given any answers other than here's the pill. And I went to a naturopath, and they suddenly started talking like, here's what your liver's doing and here's what this is doing. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I've never heard about how any of this could possibly be impacting. And I was just obsessed. And I started having these conversations with other women, and they were like, oh, but what do you mean there's options? I was like, yeah, there's options. So I became the option for those women. I was like, let's just do that. And it's literally my obsession in menstrual cycle, in fertility, all of that is where I really focus in my practice as a naturopath.
Yeah, amazing. Like you literally are doing like the most, because it's crazy, because what I do now, I mean, I don't have children, but like I see my nieces and nephews and my godchildren going through this curriculum, and I just feel like if there is something, like I want to bring so much awareness to this, I guess, for them, because I want it to not be a taboo topic to talk about. Like, I mean, if we have a family history of this shit, then obviously they're going to inherit it as well. So I just like, because my mum had it, she didn't know until she had her hysterectomy, which is wild. That woman is just insane. To go through this. So yeah, I just feel like now, and similarly, I saw a naturopath purely because I was like out of answers and just out of options in general, because again, nothing showed up on my scan. Everything's fine. It's probably all in your head, whatever. But I will say, I know, right? Yeah. So, yeah, like when I went and saw a naturopath originally, I didn't actually understand the effect that different intolerances that I had an effect on my inflammation and therefore pain levels. And I will say, when I actually, it was like called a hair 500 or 100 or hair something test. I did like a hair sample, and then they did like a thing. It was wild. Like I was intolerant to all of this stuff, and I cut all of it out, and it was an effort. Like, let me tell you right now, I was like in the kitchen more than I cared to be. But I will say it actually made such a difference. So not that I want people to have to use you as a last resort, but also obviously help things moving forward.
Yeah, it's so often that the people do see the naturopath as the last resort, but the funny thing about that is we're the people that they feel heard and they finally get answers from, and it's finally like, oh, there's actually a plan here, I can actually do things. So I mean, I even went to a naturopath as a last resort before I became one, and it's when you finally see answers. It just sucks that they have to go through so many possible years and specialists and money before they're like, oh, well, got nothing to lose now, may as well see a naturopath.
Yeah. I literally feel like we need to rebrand you all as like, we are not the last resort, because I truly believe, like, that's my experience, that was your experience, and I can imagine we're not alone in that. I can imagine there are that, and like you would see these women, right, where we're just like, look, you know what, the pill's not working, I'm nuts as well, so you know what, let's give naturopathy a crack.
Literally.
It's the worst, isn't it? It's not funny. It's a little bit funny. I had to ring my mum the other day. I was in this chemist waiting for my scripts, and there was this girl, and she was like doubled over in pain, like this poor thing. And I was just, I just want to hug you. I'm like, oh, because she was really pale as well. And I was like, oh, I know what you're. And her dad was like, I'm sick of you whinging about this pain. Like, I broke my leg and went back to work the next day. I was like, zip it, don't say it, just like, and I was like, no, I couldn't. And I've yelled at this random man in, where was I, Townsville, and I was like, okay, you've just had like probably a decade of medical trauma thrown at you right now, but I hope now you understand what your daughter is going through and how psychologically you're affecting her, not wanting to advocate for herself, because she should just suck it up and get over it. Endo is not a broken leg, bro. And then I walked out. And then I rang my mum. I was like, okay, so this just happened. She goes, what did you say to him? I was like, well, so I can't help it.
Honestly, I think she might have appreciated that, because maybe she wouldn't have even had the words. Like, you were saying she was like a teenager?
Yeah, she was. She was really quite young.
She wouldn't have had the word. She wouldn't have possibly even known about the word endo, or even think it. Just pain's normal.
Yeah.
That's what's been reinforced for her as well. So like, you probably did her a favor. I love that you did that.
And like, I tried so hard, and I was like, just shh, it's okay, it's not your battle. And I was like, nah, and it was almost like it was an involuntary response, because I almost broke my neck. I snapped my head around that fast at him, and I was just like, nah, no. Broken leg, endometriosis, not the same thing. I've broken ankles, I've broken many a bone.
Yeah. And this is why whenever I'm teaching it in school, whenever I'm teaching about the cycle in school, I always make a point at the start and talk to the boys. And I'm like, there's a reason we're not getting rid of you for this lesson. There's a reason you're still stuck here. And I know it's uncomfortable. I know it feels a bit, like, why do you even need to know? But you're going to have women in your life for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be a good human and have a good relationship with them, you're going to have to understand how the whole cycle works and how they change and how they're influenced. Because by you having that information, you can also have empathy for them.
Yeah.
And know that you are completely different to them.
Yes, I love that. Well, it's interesting. I don't know if you remember, and I forgot his name because I blocked him out of my head. It was that radio presenter, and he said that we make it up, and it's like,
I don't know his name either. I know who you're talking about.
So I was talking to my dad about this, and my dad, bless his heart, has tried the most to understand this as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So when all of that all came out, he got so upset. He said, obviously he doesn't have a daughter, that he's had to pick up off the floor because she physically cannot get up because she's in that much pain.
Yeah.
And so it took, I think, for my disease, for my dad to understand, like, oh, like period pain like that is not just normal. And I think the people around you need need the education just as much, because, you know, even for my mum, like my mum cried more than I did when I had my hysterectomy, because she has had to be there when I can't get off the floor, I've bled through clothes, I've needed painkillers, I've, you know, all of, can you take me to hospital, like this is not bearable anymore. So I think that this education for the people around us as well is, like, honestly just as important, so that we feel like, oh, we're not ringing to whinge again, or we're not cancelling events again just because we feel a bit sick, you know, like it's so much more than that. And I think truly half the trauma that I have is from like cancelling events, for feeling like a burden on people, for not feeling understood. Like maybe I'm being a bit dramatic. Like, is it really that bad? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's awful. And chances are you probably wanted to go to those events.
Of
You
course.
would rather have gone to those events than be home and in pain and can't even stand up or get out of the shower because the heat, you know, like, yeah, it's wild.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, cool. So let's go back to basics now. I already said that I was gonna have to have like a 17-part episode with you, because like we're just gonna deep dive down this. But I feel like this is gonna be so beneficial. So let's start from the start. For anybody listening, kind of like, obviously we're gonna talk about the different phases and how your body reacts and what your body kind of goes through first, and then we'll kind of see where we are then.
Great. So this is, probably the most important part for everybody to be aware of, and what I was kind of alluding to before, and why we don't get rid of the guys in high school classes. You know, like everybody needs to know about these phases, because I've talked to 30-year-old women, 27-year-old women, and they're like, what? Like they just have never been taught this, and it blows my mind. And to be fair, I taught myself it, so like that's the only reason I know. You know, it's just, So the way I think about it, and the way a lot of people talk about in books and things, is you think of the different phases as different seasons. So you've got your menstrual phase, your period is winter, and like we're in the middle of winter now. I mean, I'm in Melbourne. Everybody's kind of just like hunkered down. Everybody's just, you're very slow in winter. You don't really do too much in winter. It's very relaxed energy of like just in your little cave, hibernation, right? And that's how we feel during that period. So that's very much what that phase is if we're comparing it to a season. Then after winter comes spring. So you start to feel a little bit more yourself again. So this is the luteal phase. And I can feel it, I think a lot of other women can feel it, is as soon as like the beginning stages of the bleed is done, you can actually start to feel like your hormones building again. Because during winter, our hormones are at the base, they're at the bottom, they're the lowest they'll ever be. So then after that, they start to build again, because the most important part of the entire cycle is not the bleed. It's actually usually about the middle, where ovulation comes in. We're taught that it's the bleed because that's the most physical thing we can see. We can see it, we can feel it, we have to plan around it, all the things, but it's only the result of the middle. So after you bleed, everything starts to build to that peak, which is summertime, up the top of the mountain. And you know, you've gone through spring, so you're starting to feel a little bit more yourself. This is the time where you're maybe doing more activity. Like give yourself grace during your period to actually not move your body if you don't want to. Like this is, I think, a lot of the people have a struggle with, that they think that they need to be productive at every single phase of their cycle. You don't. We're not built that way. And I think because society is very, you know, it's been built for the male, and that's fine. That's how the society is working. But we're different. We're completely different.
Yeah.
So it's acknowledging that, giving yourself grace for that, knowing that you don't show up like a male. We have a 28-day cycle, roughly, compared to a 24-hour cycle. So we come out of that winter season, we're in spring, everything's starting to build again. We can get the energy back, you'll generally feel it. Everything's building to the most peak of our entire cycle, which is ovulation. Now, that's summertime. Like, a lot of people will start to feel like, I will go and see everybody. I want to be doing all the things. I can do HIIT classes. I can smash my workouts. I can, give me all the meetings right now. Just pile me up for this week. I'm good. Like, let's go. But the benefit of knowing about these phases is knowing that that's only going to last a week.
Yeah.
So it's about not making plans in this energy for 2 weeks' time, because in 2 weeks' time, you're back into autumn, your luteal phase, you're going to start to feel a bit shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting, and this is where, if you suffer with PMS, PMDD, that's where this is going to start to come up, and you're going to be a completely different person, because you're kind of going back down closer into winter now. And then winter starts again, the whole phase starts again. So, yeah, it's a whole thing. And it's also really important that I try not to use amount of days, and like ovulation is day 14, rarely is. It's up to you to actually understand your body, get to know your body, and how, you might not actually feel awesome after ovulation. You might feel your best in the, week and a half before ovulation. Everybody's really, really different. So when I talk about this, I talk just in averages, but the whole challenge and the whole, I guess the benefit is going to come from you taking the time, tracking your cycle, like literally just like write it in your calendar, write it in a diary, and just, I don't know, however you want to track your energy and your mood and your any pain you have, any symptoms you have, so that after a few months you can look back, it becomes predictable, so that when you are, I don't know, making plans for something, you look back at the last few months and you're like, am I actually going to have the energy to do it if that's the part of my cycle I'm doing it in? Probably not, So there's so much power that comes from understanding how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's so true, because like when you make plans, and again, I think because like towards the end there, I didn't even know what a cycle was, because it was just like a whole thing. And then I was on like Zoladex injections to stop it all, and like it was a whole thing. And I guess the regularity was never really one of my strong suits when it came to my cycle, but obviously, endo things. But I actually feel like the power in understanding why you feel the way you do, so you actually don't gaslight yourself into stuff as well. Because if I'm like in my luteal phase, I'm living my best life, like give me all of the checklists because I'm going to tick them all off. I'm going to do like all of these things. And then you're like, yeah, in 2 weeks time, I'm going to commit to that. Or like, even like, I think that like day by day, it can actually change, right? So even if like today I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for the HIIT class tomorrow because like I am like feeling 100. And then, by the end of the day, like you're already dreading like, shit, man, I really wish
Yeah.
I didn't go.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's giving yourself grace, allowing
Yes.
yourself. Don't get too hard on yourself because that's how you feel. Like, the nature of the feminine is that we fluctuate.
Yep.
And give yourself grace for that. Like, there's a lot of pressure women put on themselves because they can't show up all the time how they wanted to, or maybe even how they plan to, and then they get really hard on themselves. And I guess this is permission to every woman to not do that. Just and know that your energy is coming back. You're not in your winter, you're not even in your autumn forever. PMS doesn't last forever. Also, if you're experiencing PMS that's not normal, please actually, like, especially PMDD, please actually get help for that, because I know that a lot of people get told, oh, you're just unlucky. It's just like the endo stuff or the PCOS stuff. Like, oh, it just happens to some women. Bullshit. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, you can actually do something about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just giving yourself grace and permission. The energy's coming back, and you'll feel like doing all that again.
Yeah. I think we get really good at, especially when you're not feeling well. Actually, do you know what? No, I think we do it in the 2 cycles. Like looking back at my experience, when you're feeling not great, you're like, this is gonna last forever. Like I'm never gonna be able to make plans again. Like why do I even bother? Like all of those sorts of things. But conversely, because you're so excited to have your spark back, your energy back, you're having a good non-pain day, for example, it's really easy to get caught up in two minds. Either I shouldn't get too excited about this because I know that there is a downfall at the end of this somewhere, which is not a good space to be in. Or two, yeah, like, oh God, it's all over now. Thank God. Like I'm back to like normal and, let's get on with life kind of thing. So I feel like that's noting that, or even like there are a billion apps to track stuff now. Even just like the Apple, there's like a health app just on Apple that I feel like I could have really benefited from not tracking for medical sake because I got told to, but actually for my lifestyle.
Yeah, and tracking is a really important one to talk about as well, because a lot of women only put in their period and when they're getting their period into those apps, and then trusting what it says throughout the rest of the cycle as well.
Yes.
And that can be a problem, because if you're only putting in your bleed, you're putting in no other markers like fertile mucus that you're experiencing, morning temperature, none of that, even cervical positioning. Not many people do that one, but most people are sort of monitoring their cervical mucus, monitoring their temperature, if that's something they're tracking. If you're not putting those two things in and you're just putting in your period, your app is guessing about the rest of it. So if you're not having sex because it's coming into when your app says you're ovulating, unless you're putting in anything else, your app is guessing. And if you're learning about your body and the only thing you're sort of keeping track of is that cervical mucus stuff, then that's going to be more reliable than what your app has to say. And I have conversations with women all the time being like, which one do I trust? I'm like, your body, every single time, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, it's guessing, I'm sure, off of a bunch of data from users, right? Like it's, but as we know, we're all vastly different with, what we're up to and when and how and who and what and all of that. So yeah, I think it's a great piece of advice that if you're gonna track it, but even just for like one cycle, like even down to I found tracking like hunger levels helpful. Because I found that I was like hungry sometimes and hungry other times, and like it would affect the way that my mood was because I was, like all of these little things that I now look back at, like I really could have benefited from like dartering this. Like I love data, like such a nurse, I geek out on this stuff.
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm always the same. I love, like, you should see my Google Calendar at this point. It is crazy. It's so good. Like, I just love being able to look back and track and be like, oh, okay, bang, bang, bang. Like, this is a pattern, sweet. Like, yeah, I'm the same. Give me all the data. But then there's also like a limit to that as well. We can get too bogged down in that.
Oh, without a doubt. Okay, so I'm so curious to know, I guess from the women that you see, the women that you help, and obviously, we don't want to like. I always have to like. We're not medical advising here. I just want to know from your experience, at what stage women come to you, and at what stage do you kind of recommend to seek help a little bit sooner than just putting up with it because it's painful, or your doctor saying just go on the pill or whatever. Like tell us, I guess, uncommon things that we can actually link to something a bit more sinister going on.
Yeah. So women come to me at all different stages. I think now people are a lot more aware of naturopaths and naturopathy and what we do than, say, pre-2020 vibes, So that really was a big shift in how people see the healthcare system. So just scooting right past that one.
That was 2020.
What do you mean? So everyone comes at sort of different phases. So a lot of the time people come after they've seen a GP, after they're not getting any sort of, there's no plan. There's like okay, you fit into this box, here's the drug for that box, right? But they're like, I don't want to not be able to predict my cycle and cover it up with the pill. I don't want to be in crippling pain and have to take, all of these drugs every single month because I'm unlucky. Like, I don't want to feel like I need to jump off a bridge in my luteal phase every month. No, thank you. Like, please give me another option. And they, unfortunately, the way our medical system is trained, they don't have the tools. They're using the tools that they have, which is the drugs, and send to a specialist. And then the specialist has their level of care as well, which is surgery and drugs, essentially. But then looking at the way we practice is we're trained completely differently. We have a completely different set of tools, which helps us actually get your health to optimal health and get things when they're in like what we call the subclinical part. So it's like when we can start to see that something is happening, maybe it's a little bit of like your bloods aren't out of range, but they're heading the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
We can catch that. We're trained to look for that. And we have the tools in order to bring it back down. So there's heaps of different stages that people come, but a lot of the time the people that are coming to me, it's that I've been dealing with incredible painful periods for this many years, or I bleed through clothes and I almost can't leave my house. Or I've been, trying to get this diagnosis, and I think this is it. Can we just go ahead and treat like it is? And the answer is always yes to that. Like, I definitely don't need you to have a title to come to me. Like, I just look at symptoms, I look at your whole picture, and then we can work from there. But I think the main important thing is that your period should be regular, predictable, and not something that you can't live your life around.
Mm-hmm.
If it's outside of that, then there's something happening. If your period isn't predictable to within 2 to 3 days, well, we've got an irregular ovulation happening, or we've got a regular something happening. And that, if you're on a fertility journey, that could be impacting fertility. So then that's something that you need to be sort of seeking help for. If you're having to change plans because I got my period, I'm in pain, or I'm bleeding through, that's not normal either. And the answer isn't the pill or the IUD or any of those things. The answer is way deeper and something that your body is already doing that we need to investigate and correct, So, yeah. Did I even answer that question?
I did exactly what I was hoping you would say, because I feel like regardless of what you're experiencing, it actually doesn't, like, I know why I've talked about severities here, because that's my experience, because I've just had the worst
Yeah.
couple of years ever. And I guess I have the best care team. Like, I couldn't be more grateful. I literally, like, I had one accidental cancellation of a hysterectomy, but that was with a different surgeon. Like, he had to leave because his family was not well, because I needed my bowel surgeon there as well. And I truly believe that the universe was doing things in order to make sure I had this care team that I ended up having. So that's amazing. But yeah, I think from my experience, and I never was going to be like this person that advocated for women's health. I just feel like I can just really, I guess, make women feel seen, heard, and all the things, just because like I have lived it. And I feel like, and I'm going to say my generation, like, I feel like a geriatric when I say that, but I feel like now, because I'm like 37, and I kind of like, I think I've kind of caught the beginnings of really massive change in things like this, because people like yourself just didn't exist back then. It was, yes, take this pill, here's the Marina.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Marina I have had the worst experience with, like the worst. Oh, it was the worst thing in the world. And I pursued it for a whole year, because I was like, I'll just give it as much time. I'll get to the point where I was in hospital on Christmas Day having that thing ripped out. That's how, like, I just cannot physically do this anymore. And this emerged. And again, it's so wild now that I actually look back. I'm like, I have been so actually guided on this journey, because this is how often I frequented the emergency room. I knew the doctors, right? They knew me, they knew my history. I'd walk in, they'd be like, okay, cool. Like, load her up, put her at the back, give her a heat pack, she'll be okay. And I just needed stronger pain relief at that time, because that was all they could do for me in an emergency room. Obviously, they're not diagnosing me. I was diagnosed, I was waiting for my surgery, whatever. But there was a different nurse on this Christmas Day particularly, and she was like, do you want me to take it out? I was like, can you do that? She's like, yeah, let's rip it out. I was like, anyway, I didn't do much research about this Marina until after, which again, that's on me. I just was like, yeah, I'll trust blindly what you say. This thing's like this big. It's the smallest thing in the world. I'm like, how the hell can something like that actually cause me so many issues in my body? Like, the tissue and all of the stuff that had grown on this thing too, is like my body tried to absorb it. It was wild. Anyway, she was so good, because she actually said to me, look, full disclosure, your next period is going to be horrible. Okay, I still had periods the whole time I had my Marina in. Like, it didn't stop a bloody thing, pun intended. So and then like the first week out, I was like, this is brutal. But she gave me extra painkillers. She was like, if you need anything else, come back in. I was just like, thank you. Thank you so much. So I feel like the validation and like the stress levels that decrease when we have people like yourself and like that doctor in our lives is just like, you kind of need to, the only thing I feel like you should really take responsibility for is finding a good people in your circle to work with to get through this, because doing it when you're, and obviously gynecology historically has been quite a male dominated field. I now have a female gyno. She's just the best thing. She's actually developed an app for other doctors to use with gynecology symptoms. And she's released this app. I need to find out what it is actually. Her name is Tamara Turnbull. She practices out of Adelaide, her health. So yeah, she's like pioneering all of these things. And I met her by pure chance. Yeah, pure chance. So I feel like, do your research, and I think there are a billion forums out there. And what I will actually warn people with forums is it's the people will go in there to trauma dump. So please don't take on, you probably have a similar opinion and advice.
Yeah, I find myself sometimes in them, but just more like in the observation seat, just looking and sort of reading how other people are responding as well. And I think everybody's got a story that they want to share, and I think
Of
that's
course.
what comes up a lot in those groups. So just see if anybody else is going through the same thing as you, but I think grain of salt with those groups
Yes.
as well, and make sure that you've actually got like a wicked healthcare team that's the professional. So that's
Yes.
where you're taking that advice from. But you can use those groups for what they're meant to be used for, which is, I'm not alone. Other
Yes.
people have experienced this, Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that the half an hour was going to go so quickly, and I still have like 47 more questions. So we're going to have to get you back on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, we could like talk for days.
I know, and I feel like I've chewed your ear off already just because I'm
Right.
so excited. Purely because when I went down my naturopath journey, it did make such a difference with different supplements I was taking, but just understanding my intolerances more than anything. And it was down to like different types of almond milk I could drink, like different brands, and I was like, this is just what, and I still utilize it today because I'm like, I mean, obviously it's all ripped out now, but I still would like I mean, I still got Crohn's disease, I've got shit going on, but I want to help my body do the best that it can because she's gone through it the last few years.
We need some love.
So thank you. Before you go, please tell us how we can find you, and then I'll see you back.
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's Naturopathy by Rhiannon. I think it would be easier if you maybe just like tag me in something so people know how to spell that.
I will.
But yeah, naturopathy.by.rhiannon. And yeah, that's kind of where I hang out the most. And I also have a Telegram group that anybody who wants to be in it is in it. And that's kind of where I drop weekly, bi-weekly, like education segments. Like it's 10 minutes usually, and I'm just sort of teaching on something in particular, whether that's something that's come up that week in clinic that I feel like a lot of people need to talk about, or something about my own experience, or something cool that I've learned, whatever. That's also where I do sort of longer form things. So yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be joining that as well. So thank you. I'll tag you in all the things, and thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
It's been awesome. All right. Now, Mum's been waiting in the waiting room. We got to let her in because we got to talk about my singing lesson and everything else that has been happening this week. Hey, Ma.
Hang on. I'll have to get rid of you here.
Oh my God, I can hear myself.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you going?
Did you hear Rhiannon?
Oh, she was amazing. My goodness. What a woman. What a woman. Yeah. Where was she 10 years ago?
Well, this is the thing, right? And that's what I was trying to say to her. I was like, and I think because, yes, I should have yelled at a random man in a pharmacy in Townsville. Like, I understand that. But it's just like, I could feel like, it was like I could feel her pain. Like, I could just feel like, and, it wasn't his fault. I mean, he was a dick, let's be real. But he just probably wasn't educated either. So I feel
Right.
like people like Rhiannon bringing awareness to all of this, and they're like, like obviously you've been there for like you've had front row seats to my journey, but the difference in care today versus like when like even when you had it, like you didn't even bloody know till you
That's right.
had your
Yeah,
history.
you look at Trace as well, like what she's going through now.
I
It's just,
know.
it's education, and the more people stand up and talk about it like you are, the more benefit it's going to be for that young girl and others coming through. That's all we can do is just keep educating, communicating, talking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe not bashing people that don't know about it, but just
I have my ways.
we have your ways. Yes, yeah, but yeah. So, and that was an amazing interview. Well done, and yeah, I'd love to hear more from her. And I think
Me too.
others need to hear it. Many others. And how good is it that she's bringing it into the boys as well?
I
Like
know.
creating empathetic young men, which is what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, if you look at Bill, for example, and like when he's driven me to many a medical appointment as well. And, like he's so funny when he talks about it, and because he tries so hard, and obviously he's had 2 daughters as well. And like, I mean the world to him, and he wants to like, but he just like, you can't expect him to know what to say, but he will be there and support.
He tries to understand.
He tries so hard. So I just feel like just even some kind of like, this is what you can ask, or this is what you could ask in that kind of situation, because, I mean, they must find it uncomfortable. Like it was, like I said, it was crazy because I was just literally transported back to when I got my first period when I was at Anglevale Primary.
Yeah.
It was sports day, and
Yeah.
I was the team captain for the sports day course.
Overachieving.
And I know, chronic overachiever. And I was standing on the podium leading the dance thing in front of everyone. And I just remember like my insides just being like, whatever. And I just was like, I just don't remember even asking you, like, I didn't know what to even say to you or ask you or like do. Like you just, and I don't think we'd even learned about it at that point. And that was year 7.
Yeah, and I think we probably haven't even had that discussion, thinking it was too early, like for me, from my point of view. But no, it's awesome. And as I said, education and communication, that's where we learn and grow.
Yeah, I did. Agreed.
Speaking of learning, how did you go with your singing lesson?
Well, I was having the time of my life. So it was just the funniest thing in the world. She was absolutely amazing. Kim from Her Sweet Raw. And she was so just like, she's like, we can turn your camera off. I'll turn my camera off so that you don't have to like look at me. And I was like, you know what? I just want to get the most uncomfortable part out of the way first. Like, let's just stare into my soul as I sing this song to you. It's wild. So so I sent you my playlist of like songs that I just enjoy singing myself. And so she was sort of like in this range, like is really a little bit easier to start with and whatnot. So that's why we picked the song. That's why she picked the song that she picked. So it started by, she's like, can you just like sing the first verse to me? And I'll kind of like give you and I was just like, okay, well, this is the worst moment of my life, but let's do this. So, but it was good because she let me sing along with the song too. Yeah. So I wasn't just like, whatever. And then before that, she made me do like a few like different like voice things to kind of see where my range was a little bit. But I think and I will thank SingStar for this, because I think I'm just great at matching pitch. Like, because she would make like a sound and I can easily replicate it. Like I found that really simple. She's just like, wow. I was like that part to me is quite simple. But then when I don't have something to like parrot back immediately, I'm like, shit, what does that noise even sound like? So that was my homework to her. So obviously I have to practice it, which I've not done, but in my defense, I have been unwell and I have been traveling. So
yes, it is only Friday and you only had the lesson Wednesday, and practice day was going to be Thursday, but I knew that was going to be difficult for you. So give yourself a break. It's okay.
I napped for like 4 hours yesterday. It was phenomenal. Like, because Ayrton was on the sim all night and I had to get up at 3:30 yesterday morning to be at the airport. And then, oh my God. So like the universe, or like gratitude, like central, they had this room available and I could check in at 8:30 yesterday morning. And I was
Oh,
just like,
wow.
thank you, universe. So I like did some morning stuff and then I was meant to go straight down to Sydney Motorsport Park to, because obviously Sherwell and all them were testing. And I was like, I can't. So I went to sleep and I said, ring me in like an hour. He rang me like 4 times and I just didn't hear it. And then it was their lunch break, 12:30. And he's like, he rang me again and it woke me up. I was like, shit. He's like, it's lunch break. Do you want us to come get you? I was like, yeah, probably should get Oh God. Anyway, so yes, that's my homework, is to, she said I need to listen to the way that Olivia Dean sings the song and also the different notes that she goes higher or lower on. And because I'm good at replicating the sounds that I hear, so just really listening to it and then singing it effectively. So that's my homework
How good
from,
is that?
I know, it was so much fun. It was
Yeah.
like, but it was really confronting as well. But then I was like, I don't actually remember doing anything new recently, which is bullshit because I start new stuff all the time. But I feel like this was just, it felt a little bit more stretchy
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
other new stuff that I do.
So can I just ask a question?
You can.
When you had, like, what is it, what value does it represent to you, do you think, out of your values? So is it, because it's good to tie in your hobbies with your values because you know that you're doing it for you then, not for anybody else.
True.
Does it
I
go
think
into fun, creativity, health?
it definitely just, I think it's the anti-productivity, which is why my brain battles with it so much, because I've based so much what I do on being productive. Like the guilt trip I put myself through yesterday for having that nap was just like wild. Like, yeah. But I feel like the reason why I wanted to actually have it, because you can learn shit on YouTube, you can learn whatever, but I wanted to have a set time that I had to commit to, that I couldn't change, that I couldn't just move because I was like, oh, I'll do that later. Like this is more fun. Like I had to do it. So I think it's, yeah, just literally just the most fun.
Yeah. So, and I guess from me too, knowing beautiful you and how perfection kind of is, and I won't say overachiever, it's not, it's, you're a perfectionist. You like to do things well, but you also like to do things now. So how does, like being a beginner feel to you? So can you, like, what does good enough look like at the moment? That's my question.
Okay. So that was like the thing I struggled with the most, because I was like, I'm not instantly amazing at this. This is the worst. And I just don't remember the last time I felt like a beginner at something. And even though if you look at like the last 2 years of my life, right? Started a business, didn't know what the hell I was doing there. I was technically a beginner, but I think I was so in the thick of it all that I just was like, I felt, I don't know, I think this was just different, because it was like, if there's one thing I know I can pull off, it's like doing work stuff. Like that's been my typical
External.
achievement. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was, and it was hard to feel and be okay being nervous. Like I was almost like, I shouldn't feel like this way. I was like, God, this is like, yeah, because I think I'm on the other side of things all the time. If I'm, trying to film stuff where I'm like, it's all good, like relax, it's fine, whatever. But that was like, that's what she was doing to me. And it was so funny because every time I finished singing a bit, I'd like look at her and instantly try and seek approval. And she's like, you're doing great. She's, because you don't need to look at me like, how was that or whatever it is. I was like, oh, I can't help it. Tell me I'm perfect.
I guess you got to separate progress from perfection, or perfection from progress. So, progress is one small step at a time. It's not doing all the things at once and getting an end result. It's improving. So, well done. That's really great. So, celebrations for this week is, what is celebrating? Say it out loud. What are you celebrating?
That I'm coming home tomorrow.
Yes, and you have a clean car, by the way. Anyway.
Oh, do I?
Yes.
Thank you.
But anyway, no.
Thank you very much.
Then what are you celebrating? Like, I say it out loud. What is your celebration?
Well, I feel like 'tis been the season that so we also had the new moon this week, right? So I actually sat down on whatever night it was, and I actually journaled for the first time in the longest time. So I'm really proud of myself for doing that. I think after the weekend that I had, I just had to like get some thoughts out on paper, and just kind of, sit with it. And I think just understanding that I just have so much choice as to what I can do, where I've never really felt that before. I've sort of felt like I've made a decision, so I have to stick with it. But it's not the case. Like yeah, I know it's weird. It's been a real turning week this week, I feel like. Which is obviously why I'm sick too, because it's just like I think I'm going through like some sort of quantum leap right now. I really feel it.
Yeah. Nothing's forever. You know, one thing we can guarantee is change, and that means you're allowed to change internally in what you're doing as well. You don't have to stick. If it's not working, you've tried it. You know, if it's not sitting with you, and I mean we know that's where illness comes from. You become when it's dis-ease. When you're in dis-ease, you get disease. So yeah, no, that's awesome. Just interestingly about that and this new moon, I went to a meeting last night, an online one, and the amount of people in that group that busted in this last 2 weeks. So something's going on. Like, these are people that have had sobriety for like, so yeah. So there's something going on universally.
Yeah, it's that basket that I couldn't pronounce. I reshared it on my stories last night. I'll reshare it again. But it's some sort of like planetary alignment. There's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And it's creating a basket or a cradle or something. But I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it, which is exciting. I'm just
all right. So just to finish off, one tiny commitment that you're going to set yourself for this week.
Well, I have actually when I get home I want to go and do my shopping, because I have like now the kind of like the most gut-friendly meal plan I've had in the longest time. And again, I think instead of having to like have certain meals at certain times, I just know my body doesn't function that way. So I'm going to go shopping and set my week's meal prep up. That's going to be a thing. And then obviously I've got my singing lesson on Wednesday as well, which is going to be fun. And yeah, I think, that's the plan for this week.
So you're scheduling in some time for yourself into your own calendar to practice, maybe?
Yes, I am.
Thought so.
I don't know when that is, but yes, I am.
Yeah.
Well, true, because I don't like take like quote like lunch breaks and stuff, so I feel like that's a good time to do it. So my cats are gonna be so happy with me that they get to listen to me sing. So yeah,
they might sing with you.
Oh, they probably will. Milan, he likes to chat. All right, thank you, Mama.
Okay. No worries. Have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you Sunday.
Yes, I'll see you then.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye. Okay, that's the show. We're a little bit under the hour. Again, like my brows are out of control, my lashes are out of control. And yeah, I'm the tiredest girl in the world. So I am going to the racetrack tomorrow, and amongst other bits and pieces. And then, I am excited to start fresh on Monday with this new show format, new guests, new things, new whatever. And then, it's going to be a lot of fun and just different and just like really value adding. Like, I want you to jump on with me every morning and then feel like you can like tackle the day. And we can do that together. So have the most amazing weekend, whatever you decide to do. And I will see you same time, same place on